You are now listening to the Cut and Caliber Podcast.
Well, today, guys, we're going to be talking about celebrating little wins. What you can do in the morning to maybe make your day a little better. And that's about it.
Yeah, that was great. You have such a podcast voice. I just want to tell you, your voice is perfect for podcasting.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have more to say, but, you know.
should be on NPR.
I can't spell that. But I do think, you know.
Oh, man. Okay. But you do think what?
I was just going to say, I think we should get in the podcast.
Let's do it.
A new episode is here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope you're doing great. Kyle and I are doing great.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Especially today.
Why?
Because.
Tell us.
So I just got a new audiobook, right?
Oh.
And
Which one?
Through Audible. Own the Day.
We are not
Own Your Day?
We are not sponsored by Audible. You were just shouting that out. Just let you know, we're not sponsored. We didn't make any money on that right there. And
But
Audible, you're freaking
Mr.
welcome.
Audible, if you want to call me, go for it.
You're freaking welcome, Audible. That's free advertising for you.
Yeah, so I got Aubrey Marcus, the CEO.
I've been wanting to read that.
Dude, it's really good.
Is it good?
Yeah, so I'm like halfway through, probably, and it talks a lot about your mornings and your routines and just how to tackle the day to have it better.
Yeah.
And one thing that I have started doing immediately that I've kind of like been like, whoa, I didn't even realize this, is hydration in the morning. Now, most people just, like drink a glass of water or something like that in the morning and kind of call it good, then start chugging the coffee, stuff like that. Well, he kind of suggests that you don't only need to drink water, but you need to replenish your minerals as well. And so your body gets dehydrated since you probably haven't been drinking for 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely wake up with like dry mouth.
Oh,
or
sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
And so he talks about, adding like sea salt, lemon,
so
and stuff to the water.
That you're reading. Okay. No, keep going. Keep going. Sorry, interrupted.
Are you reading the same thing?
No, I was I was reading about hangover cures the other
Yeah.
day, and they said Himalayan salt and water. So I've been doing that.
Right.
And not just like when I have a hangover, but I was doing that like
Just in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that you just read that. I never really thought
It's
about
kinda-
starting my day with it though.
Right. And so that's like been getting up, and usually my first thing I grab is, I might sip some water or something like that, but then I go straight to the coffee.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And he's like, don't do that. You're messing with, you're basically
Dehydrating yourself even
in
more.
a way.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not, your organs need to wake up, and that's by replenishing it with water.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
I guess
Not going to get into the science of it, but because
we're not.
I don't know it. I'm just, please be right, Aubrey. But, so I've been doing it, and then I've been cutting back on my coffee until a little later in the morning. And I've been feeling really good.
Like instead of 5 minutes, it's 15 minutes.
7. Yeah. But usually if I'm not having my coffee, like first thing in the morning, like I'll kind of get that headache or whatever. And
Yeah.
I've been feeling
Feeling okay?
a lot more alert. I haven't needed a coffee in the afternoon or anything like
good.
that.
Okay.
So
It's interesting. No, Kyle and I about this podcast, we didn't really talk about what we wanted to talk about, but it's interesting he's talking about changing up his morning routine because I have recently changed up my morning routine as well.
really,
I've been getting up early.
4 minutes earlier. Little wins.
6 6 minutes. No, I mean early to me. Like when I go to bed at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, instead of sleeping till 10:30, I've been waking up around 8:30 or 9. So that's early for me.
You're still getting your
But-
8 hours.
Yep. Depending on the day. Some days I go to bed later. Some days I go to bed earlier. But I'm trying to get better at waking up because I see that we talked about it actually on the podcast a long time ago.
The early bird.
Exactly. The early bird. And so I've been trying to do that, but trying to change my morning habit as well because I want to work on stuff like that I want to work on first thing in the morning, kind of get wake up slow. And so I've been putting my phone across my room. And so
with the alarm.
And so I'll have to get out of bed and actually go turn it off. And then that actually, I've been pushing and forcing myself to get out of bed and get going.
Yeah.
And that's actually been really, it's been really profitable the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So
a lot of those are.
maybe I'll have to wake up, get a glass of water, put some mineral salt in
not
there.
cold water, like room temperature. Filtered. So, yeah.
Okay. Actually, I didn't, I haven't been doing that.
Get the book. Mr. Audible, just send him one too.
I've been reading, you audibled this one a little bit ago.
Which one?
You finished The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
Oh, yeah.
By Mark Manson.
Yep.
And so I am reading that book, so I'm going through it, and man, I am just like, every chapter, I'm just like learning something 100% new every time.
Yeah. And what's weird is, I gave up audiobooks for a while because I felt like I wasn't absorbing it very well.
And I was going to ask you about that too.
But I think it's because I've been grabbing books that I've really wanted instead of just like, oh, this seems like an okay one. So I think I'm paying attention better. And that one was really good. I got through that in like 2 days.
See, I guess I'm a slow reader or whatever.
Or I'm a fast listener.
Yeah, but so another thing I'm doing, because there's all these things I want to learn and all these things I want to do, and I found myself being distracted more and not like and looking at my phone more than working. Right. And so what I'm doing is using my phone, but using an app on it to. It's called Be Focused. And I was just telling you about this. And what it does is like you can put it in a list of things, and each item has a clock, and you can push play on that item, and it's 25 minutes for that, right? So what you do is you focus on that item for 25 minutes, and then you have a 5-minute break. Then the next item, 25 minutes, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, so on and so forth. And I've been so much more productive as soon as I got that, because I will put reading on that list. Read for 25 minutes, and then I'll come back to it later that day. Read for 25 minutes, read for 25 minutes. And the next thing I know, I've read for, over an hour in just the whole day. And I'm like, man, and I still have hours before I should potentially go to bed.
Sure.
And so that's the kind of a thing I've been doing.
Yeah, that's
changing it up a little bit, trying to get more productive.
Yeah, that's what we talked about, that's commonly known as the Pomodoro technique. Or basically splitting up your time into chunks where you're laser focused, and then you take a short break to do whatever you want, check your phone, check your email, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as that timer's up, then you commit to this chunk of time, 25 minutes, whatever it is.
I think it takes it almost, it makes the day easier to digest, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So like these big tasks, if you just do 25 minutes here, 25 minutes there, it makes it all this big thing seem pretty small.
Right.
Because you're just working at it a little bit here and there.
And most of the time people aren't like laser focused for 25 minutes.
Right.
They're like, this will take me like 2 hours to do this. When if you just took away all the distractions and just did that task for 25 straight minutes without ever being distracted, you can get a lot done.
Right. No, 100%. And it is funny how more productive I've been on the days that I've used that. And I don't use it like, I'm not like my whole day is circled around that Be Focused app. But it's just like, in the morning when I wake up and like kind of sit down with my coffee, and then I'm like, okay, let's write a little bit, and then we'll go to reading a little bit, kind of wake up slow. I've been really liking it.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm starting my day at,
on your terms.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I was going to say what's, an example of something that usually takes a long time, but when you're focused, you can get it done really quick, is like if I know I'm going to go golfing or something like that, I get really excited. So if Molly gave me a task to do before I could go golfing, you would be surprised how quickly I can get that done.
Yeah.
If you told me to mow the lawn, it's already done. Like I would do it in 7 minutes compared to like, oh, taking my time.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if you have those things that you're looking forward to, you can get a lot done.
It is so true.
It's like a kid on Christmas morning. Like if you made him do a couple things before he could open his presents,
Yeah.
they would get done so quickly.
Yeah.
Make him clean the house or something Christmas morning.
Oh, that'd be
Santa
so mean.
left a note that said you need to clean
That'd
the
be
house.
so mean. Clean your room before you open his presents.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we
Yeah.
were going to kind of talk about a couple little things that we've come across this week, and we've had some like serious conversations about just what are we doing, and like, you know, taking a break and looking back at what we have done, and sometimes taking a minute to celebrate the little wins that we've had.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, a lot of people set these super lofty goals and a lot of them feel out of reach, and you never get to celebrate them until that day eventually comes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of little steps in between there that you should acknowledge and pat yourself on the back sometimes.
Yeah, I think, and that goes back to like what I was just talking about. Like sometimes there's tasks that are just so huge to tackle. You know, maybe it's like, oh man, I really want to start this new website, or you know, I want to write a book. And a lot of people want to write books, but it just seems like such a big thing to tackle. But you give yourself little steps, little goals along the way. That's what I've been doing. Is like, if I have one big goal, I need to figure out what are my steps I need to achieve those big goals, right? So it's all these little things that are leading up to this one big thing. And usually I feel like with daily life, maybe you complete that little thing, and it doesn't have to be every day you complete something, but it's just like once a week, you know, or 1% a day, you're getting better at it. And you complete that little task, you complete that step towards your big goal, and then you just move right on. And I feel like, you know,
And you check it off on your list and you're like, boom, next.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time, you just need to like, okay, you know, focus and reward yourself for those little things. And so what I've been doing is like, if I finish something earlier than I expected, or I finished a video.
Take yourself out for ice cream.
Well, actually, dude... Kind of. What I do is I go get ice cream, and I come back and I watch an episode of something. I did that last night. Actually, I got a lot done yesterday. I felt really productive, and yeah, everybody was happy with what they got, and so I just was like, man, I'm gonna sit down.
I'm gonna celebrate.
I watched the ending. I've been watching this show called The Night Manager on Amazon Prime. Actually really freaking good. I think you'd like it. But I just finished that because I've been watching that for the last couple weeks.
Do you ever sit there on the couch with a thing of ice cream, like watching something, then like look down at your stomach and you're like, why don't I have 6-pack abs? I always think that, like, I'm like,
every day. Every day.
I'm going to get you one day, but not today.
That's my big goal. That's my big goal. I'm taking those steps.
And each time you're celebrating the little wins, you're pushing yourself further and further away.
Yeah, it depends on which goal I'm going for that day. Yeah, but no, I think it's, you know, if your goal, like, so I know people that are writing books or whatever. If your goal is to finish a book, and then maybe your little wins are to write an hour a day, or write, you know,
certain amount of time, or a certain amount of words.
Pages or words, or whatever your little goal is. I feel like those are just as big because you're working towards that big goal. It might be very small and you're tackling the mountain one little step at a time, but I feel like that is almost, you know, rewardable. I guess rewardable. And but with rewards, I don't mean like you go out and party or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I just say like you take a step back and like kind of look at what you're doing, look at the big scheme of things, kind of reward yourself with that little break, and like, man, you know, pat on the back is almost what I mean. Because I think, you know, you could buckle down and get into the zone where you just you don't really see the bigger picture. You just kind of focus on what you're focusing on, and you don't take a step back and be like, man, I am doing a good job.
Right.
Because I think another thing is too, people get depressed. And we're seeing a lot more in the news. You know, people are saying
Making some
goodbye,
bad choices.
saying goodbye to the world sooner than
Yeah.
than they should. And I'm not saying but I'm just saying we have to take a step back and be a little more positive about our situation. And so if you're working on something that you really want to work on, rewarding yourself with a pat on the back and making yourself feel good, and maybe some freaking ice cream in a TV show is how you do it, then that's how you do it.
Well, a lot of times you make some sort of to-do list to get these tasks done, and we treat it like a grocery list where it's just like checking stuff off, like, oh, I got to get these 7 things done.
Exactly.
When you should be treating it more like, I don't know, something that you celebrate each time you do it, but like, regardless, it's not just nothing that you're just marking off. You've accomplished a task.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you're saying, it doesn't have to be a full-out party, but at least take a minute, maybe do something that you've really been wanting to do, whether that's catch up on a TV show, some guilty pleasure that
I guess that's a good way to put it. I don't know. I felt like, my reward after I've been working and I feel like I've had a productive day. Now, I don't do this every night. I don't watch TV every day. But I mean, like, for me as a wannabe filmmaker, I guess someday, watching film and watching TV shows is kind of how I unwind and, watch what they do as far as like shots and everything.
Right.
I just love getting into the mind of filmmakers. And so that's what I love to do, eat some popcorn or watch a show or a movie or whatever.
You got to be careful, though, because if your list becomes watching cinematography, then your reward is your to do.
Yeah.
And it's just a sick cycle. You're just going to keep going.
I'm okay with that, though. It's like film
I've accomplished
class.
my task. Now, how do I reward myself? Well, I'm going to start the next one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that's been on my mind where I've been like, I think people just kind of get too focused on what they're doing and don't take time to kind of...
They're waiting to celebrate at the end.
But at the same time, reading about the subtle art of not giving an F, we have grown up in a society where they say you can follow your dreams, you follow your pursuits, and everything will be dandy, and your dreams will come true, and everything will support you. Well, I mean, it's not always true, right? And so your life, sometimes it kind of sucks because some things happen that you didn't know were going to happen, but that's also life too. So that's, I think, pushing through the suffering of life and as well as, what you want to achieve. I think that demands rewarding yourself as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can find that humans in general need to accomplish things.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
built
going
that way.
I'm going about this. I'm talking about this from strictly a personal point of view because this is, I've been very open and very honest about the tough time that it's been with like life and whatever, these new transitions and stuff like that. And I think having those good days, but also having those bad days is like you do have to take a minute and take a step back and either give yourself a pat on the back or push harder. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling on about stuff just because it's like this is pertaining to my situation.
Yeah.
But
but again,
just it's learning.
We're pretty normal, so that probably applies to a lot of people. So,
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
What else is new? Anything else that's come across your radar? Any new books? You're still finishing up that one.
Yeah, I'm still finishing up Subtle Art, which I highly recommend to everybody.
Yeah, I have seen it it's been out for a couple of years now, and I've always seen it, and I was like, this book looks really like, not cheesy or pretentious. I was just like, this looks stupid.
I just feel like right now, too, like what is going on with myself is like a huge, every chapter is like, oh man, he's so right. Like, and like I just got to he talks about that, and I just read this chapter today. He talks about the person who was having growing up was always getting sick as a child, always had back problems, wasn't smart. His brother goes on to be a successful novelist. His sister goes on to be a successful writer. His father is a successful psychologist or surgeon, and they're always like pushing this black sheep of the family who's always getting sick and all this stuff. And so he goes on to, you know, do some cool stuff, but he never really quite, you know, got fame or fortune or lived up to his father's expectations until one day he came to this realization that he's like, what if I go about living life where everything that happens to me is my fault? So like my back problem, my, you know, all this stuff. And then so he became a super huge psychologist. And so that's an interesting way to look at it. I just thought that was a great way. Like everything that happens to you is your fault. Like you, or your choice. You have a choice to let it bother you or not, but let it bother you.
You have a choice to how to react to it.
Right. So it's your fault, however, whatever happens from the outcome. And I just thought that was an interesting way to look at stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good examples in there. And yeah, it's just like, that was one of those books that I rarely say this, but I think I will listen to again.
Several times.
Yeah, because it had a lot of good key takeaways.
Yeah.
But,
I think you read Choose Yourself by James Altucher twice too, didn't you?
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
That was I highly recommend that one as well. The 4 Bodies. Was it physical,
Mental.
spiritual, emotional, and mental?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. It's just like you have your 4 bodies and you have to
care for each of them.
take care of
in
each
order
of your...
to be able to be in the prime position to
choose yourself. Bingo. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up today.
Yeah, sure.
We kind of talked about a few different topics.
Stephen rambled.
Whittled in there, but
Yeah.
You know, it's something to keep in mind that we should always be learning. Get your audiobooks, get your real books, whatever it is. Celebrate your little
Always
wins.
be learning.
Yeah.
It's like always be closing.
ABL.
Always be learning. All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, peace.
Yeah, little wins.
Getting this done was one of them, so now we need to go celebrate
Let's go get hammered
on ice cream.
Yes, actually, I probably won't. Actually, I got a video.
And then we can talk about why we don't have 6-packs.
Yeah,
But, you know
it's
what?
because I don't go to the gym, and I've said that constantly on here. I don't go to the gym.
At least you know your problem.
Yeah, I'm just not motivated I don't motivate myself when it comes to actually like working out.
It's because if you didn't have any female attention right now, you might be more encouraged to
No,
do
I
that.
don't have any female attention.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think that's probably why I'm like, I don't
If you
really
were
care.
incredibly ugly, not just sort of ugly, like
Truth.
you would
Speaking
you would
truth,
probably
humble
want to
me.
be hitting up the gym more
Yeah,
because you'd be
maybe.
like, I gotta find that thing that girls would
Yeah.
be attracted to. But that's a whole nother
guess-
thing talking about relationships. But
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. Well, guys, thank you for listening to this podcast. We really do appreciate each and every one of you that download it or stream it or whatever. Especially this one. I felt like I rambled a bunch. Just, because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. And I felt like I wanted
Ramble
to share
on.
with you and become closer, because we did say a while ago we were going to promise to
we're
get
gonna open up.
1% closer with each and every one of you. And I feel like
We're getting there.
today was very, very open.
Yep.
And so I feel like we're getting a little bit better and better with our friendship.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys for taking a little bit of your time each day and listening to a little bit of what we have to say. So we will see you next week.
Bye.